Welcome to Reckless Paradise, everyone. I am your host, Marissa, and I'm here with my co-host, Dystro. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Oh boy, I cannot hear you. I think your mic is not plugged in, pal. Great start. Hi. What happened? Did
Hi.
you not plug in the mic?
No, it's plugged in. It is plugged in. I just
Ah,
don't know why it's
gotcha.
being a bitch.
Yeah, it happens. Anyways, happy Sunday, everybody. Oh my god, it has been a pretty crappy weekend. I can't even speak. It's been pretty. It's been a crappy weekend. I'm very tired. I'm running on very little sleep right now. But it's a new week. It is Sunday, my friends. It's a brand new week, new opportunity for good things to happen. So I hope, nonetheless, I hope everybody else had a good weekend. Daisha, how was your weekend?
uh, Mine was alright. It was filled with work, work, and more work. But gotta make that money somehow.
Yeah, at the Jimmy John's, you know.
Mm, hmm
Oh my goodness. So before we hop into our episode for tonight, we need to pay a little bit of a tribute to somebody who just passed away today. So all you hair metal, hair rock fans out there, if you guys know the group Firehouse, Daisha, you know the group Firehouse, correct?
Vaguely, if I probably heard a song of theirs, I'd probably.
They sing "Love of a Lifetime." They sing "Don't Treat Me Bad." That's like the two songs I can think of. I've heard more. It's just I can't think of them right now. But those are like the two I remember. I grew up on this group actually. As you know, my parents are like into that stuff, like the hair metal from the '80s and like your classic rock groups and all that crap. Um, Unfortunately, their lead singer just passed away today. He was 64 years old. His name was C.J. Snare. Um,
CJ Snare. Yep.
I cannot believe he passed, honestly. Firehouse, I feel like they're very, very slept on. I don't really hear a lot of people talk about them anymore. They
Hmm.
formed back in 1984, and they're still active to this day. I think they're actually on tour, which that is awful. To lose your vocalist while touring, that's awful. Like that's probably like worst case scenario because like when you're a band and you have to rely on your vocalist as like a key part of your band, and all of a sudden they're no longer there, it's like oh my god, what do we do? It's kind of just as bad as losing your drummer. Like what happened to the Foo Fighters, it's like just as bad.
Yeah, but
So they're mainly famous for hit singles such as "Reach for the Sky," "Don't Treat Me Bad," "All She Wrote," as well as "I Live My Life for You," "Love of a Lifetime," and "When I Look into Your Eyes." That's another one I do remember. It's such a shame he had passed away. Someone on my Facebook page, I don't know if she's actually listening. I don't know if she even watches this show, but apparently she was supposed to take her mother to a Firehouse concert in like a matter of a few weeks or so for Mother's Day, and now they're not gonna be able to go because the lead singer passed. So obviously they're going to be canceling all tour dates and stuff like that.
right. I mean,
That
that's
is
most
insane.
reasonable. That's the most reasonable, logical explanation for that.
That's just like
Uh,
thinking about like let's just say you and I were going to a concert in like a couple weeks and finding out that the drummer or someone in the band died and they have to postpone everything. It's like god damn, like that hits.
yeah. Um, it's like our condolences from the Reckless Paradise podcast goes out to the fans and the families and the band members themselves too, because that's their brother, like that's their member, like in one of the founding members of Firehouse too, that is gone. They're just gone.
It's insane. It's like I don't know what it is. A lot of these older rockers are passing away, and 64 even's not that old, in my opinion. It's like how we lost the lead singer of April Wine at the tail end of last year. I'm still kind of not over that. I still listen to April Wine. It's another group I really grew up on. It's just kind of scary. It's like here today, gone tomorrow. You just don't know when your time is going to come.
Hmm.
It's like Eric Carmen, the one who sings Hungry Eyes in the Dirty Dancing movie. He passed away not so long ago. So, yeah, that's kind of scary.
Yeah. Um, always treat your, always treat every day like it's your last. That's what I gotta
Yep.
say.
Make the most of every
Every
single day.
moment.
Savor every moment, even if it's the little things. But yeah, our hearts go out to any fans of Firehouse, and of course the loved ones and family members of CJ. So sorry to hear that. That is awful. I'm very surprised Shom hasn't played any of Firehouse's stuff. But then again, I don't think they've ever played Firehouse on that station. But I mean,
But
who
maybe
knows?
within the next few days they'll probably do that.
I'd like to hear that, honestly. I haven't heard Firehouse in quite a while. I know Sirius XM plays them, which is kind of cool. I'd like to hop on there someday, be a radio host. That's the dream, kids. That's the dream. But anyways, we're going off course. So, without further ado, thank you guys for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. We have an epic showdown tonight in this debate hour. I freaking love doing these episodes, but I have a hard time coming up with ideas. But this one we just came up with on the fly a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, fuck it, we're gonna do it this month. I want to get it out of the way. It's probably like gonna be one of my favorite debate hours I've done in a long time. So, if you know the history of Blink-182, there are three singers. One who stepped in to replace one of the others, and then you have the two main singers. We have Mark Hoppus, who has been there since day one. You have Tom DeLonge, who also was there since day one but left twice and came back in 2022. And then you have Matt Skiba, who came in to replace Tom for the 2016 album California and the 2019 album Nine, and also all their touring shows to promote those albums. So we are going to do a debate hour. Mark, Tom, and Matt Skiba. We're going to compare and contrast the three vocalists, their vocal abilities, what they've contributed to the group, and basically how much we'd like them over the others. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very, very interesting. I did not do notes for this because I know this band like the back of my fucking hand by now.
And I didn't do any notes either, so
Like, we know so much about this group. It's like, why? Why do notes for this?
yeah. Because we did their whole pilgrimage last year,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like we should know the band inside and
And
out.
we've watched both Urethra Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still to this day like searching for updated like content. I think the most recent one we watched was that one interview that they did for the One More Time album. The interview was like an hour and 15 minutes. Do you remember? You remember watching
Yeah.
that with me? They did like a tour of
Yes.
Travis's house.
Yeah. Which fantastic house, by the way.
If y'all haven't seen that interview, y'all should go watch it. Go to Blink's YouTube page. I think that's where it is. Just search up the Blink interview from 2023. That's all you got to do. Really, really good interview. It's over an hour. It's way over an hour. So you really got to be sitting and listening to it. I really enjoyed it. It's more of an up to date kind of thing for Blink, basically of the story of their life and their band and why Tom left and how bitter Mark was for the longest time. He's like, fuck Tom DeLonge.
It's never good to hold a grudge for a long time.
No. So let's start with Mark. So obviously, like I said, Mark has been there since the very beginning. He's one of the founding members of Blink. I mean, when he met Tom, he climbed a fucking light pole and jumped off and broke both of his ankles.
Which, I mean, that shows how hardcore he is to the
That's
cause.
Mark for you. That is Mark Hoppus for you right there.
Yes, that is very, very Mark Hoppus
Esque.
esque. Yes, because it's like I could just see Mark doing that shit too. Because it's like he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna climb out a fucking light pole. And it's like, okay, what is he gonna do? Like break both his ankles.
It's like,
Like
snap.
he's like, so I'm in the band, right? No.
So I find with Mark, let's think back to from Cheshire Cat all the way to self-titled. Let's do like that time span, like the first half of Blink-182. We'll get to Neighborhoods in a little bit. So for that part of Blink-182's career, I find that like I'm gonna ask you this: do you find Mark had more vocal like appearances than Tom did, or do you think they kind of shared it equally amongst the songs? Like sometimes Mark takes the front and center for certain songs, while Tom kind of stays quiet.
I think they both shared it equally, kind of. Because like Tom, he's the lead singer. He's the main focus usually on the lead singer, but Mark as the backup vocals, and then does like he did Adam's song on Enema of the State, and he did Eminem's, he did on Chester Cat, he did like a few songs like when he was the lead,
He did the
which
Brock show for Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. He's
yeah,
done Happy
he did
Holidays, You Bastard. He did
I Miss You.
I Miss You.
So like
Shut Up. He did Shut Up.
so it's like kind of going hand in hand with him and Tom going sharing the vocals. It's not like like Tom's like yeah he's like mostly the dominant lead vocalist for the group, but it's like Mark has his own sound and he's got his own vocal range that he can do by himself sometimes too. But like when we go to the the later stuff when Tom had left, like Mark was the main vocals on like California 9 too.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
Um,
this: it's not often you find a band that has two lead
yeah,
vocalists. It's not often.
yeah,
It's kind of rare if you think about it. Like I really can't think of another band that has two lead vocalists besides Styx. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. Styx is like probably the only other group I can think of because you've got Tommy Shaw who plays on guitar, and then I think the keyboardist is also another vocalist.
mm,
I'm gonna look it up real quick. I know Tommy Shaw is one of the vocalists. Like I
y-
fucking love the death. Yes, actually, there's three.
yeah. I was gonna say there should be three.
Well, I think
Well,
one left, like, and the other two are still there. I think that's how it is. Like one left and like got
yeah,
replaced by another singer.
yeah.
So,
Um,
so
I think it's shared equally between the both of them because like neither one tries like to outshadow the other in certain songs. Like in Always, like like Mark has some of his moments like towards the end, but then Tom, like he's the lead vocalist, so it's like the majority of the attention's on him. But then Mark comes in like kind of like not steals the spotlight, but kind of like gets the shared spotlight. Let's say that.
yeah,
Um, like Mark is like like he's like one of the coolest fucking dudes of all time. Like
he's been through a lot. I mean, he had
yeah,
cancer and he's in remission and he's all better now.
yeah,
So let's talk about neighborhoods. That's kind of changing point in Blink because at this time there's a lot of tension. Tom had just rejoined after Travis's plane crash.
hmm
So at this time, there's still a lot of tension between Mark and Tom, and you can kind of sense that on this album. You can kind of sense that just based off of the fact this album sounds a lot like Angels and Airwaves. And I think a lot of Blink fans um, took to that. Like they kind of noticed that right away because I've seen a lot of people on Reddit say this album sounds like Angels and Airwaves. So in a sense, it's like Tom's trying to kind of take over a little bit. Um, but after that album, you have the Dogs Eating Dogs EP. Um, that wasn't too bad. I'm not gonna lie, but it was again a lot of Tom I found. And then obviously Tom left. Mark took over main vocals for California 9. And that's when they brought in Matt.
nice.
So before we get to that stuff, I want to wait and talk about that stuff when we talk about Matt, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So let's move into the positive direction with the latest album, One More Time, when Tom came back. So with this album, I really feel like Mark and Tom definitely did take turns on this album. Like,
Yeah,
I think the one song I can think of is You Don't Know What You've Got, because you have Mark on the opening lines, Tom's coming in with the main chorus, like the main verses
hmm
in the middle, and you have Mark in the back I can hear as well. They kind of mix together. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
They really did a good job playing off of each other, taking turns on songs and stuff like that. It's like Tom kind of takes the lead for the start of Dance with Me, and then you get to Mark kind of like going back and forth in the middle of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like this album just felt so whole. Like it just felt fair. It felt equal. Like you got to see the high focal points of both vocalists there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, it was kind of like that when they did the like some of the like the shorter like funny haha songs too.
Oh, like fuck face.
Yeah, like fuckface and all this
Turn
stuff.
this off.
Hmm. And it's like it's like they 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 share the same platform. So it's like, one's not trying to outweigh the other. Nobody's trying to like, steal anything, trying to steal anybody's spotlight. It's just like Mark has his own sound, Tom has his own sound, and it's like I wonder how they try to do it. Like, okay, like Mark, this is your song, you sing majority of the vocals, and I'll do backup, and then vice versa. I wonder how that goes, like when they write down the songs together and all that stuff.
And it's kind of cool because like when you compare Mark and Tom, with Mark's vocals he's a little deeper, so it
Where
kind of contrasts with Tom's in your face like pop punk exaggeration vocals, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
like hi, like
Where
that,
are
like
you? Like
no,
when you
yeah,
think pop punk you think
think of
over
Tom,
exaggerated lyrics and vocals,
yeah,
like with Simple Plan and fucking Sum 41, Good Charlotte, Green Day. Like you think of the over exaggerated vocals on the lyrics. It's kind of
hmm,
funny to be honest. And Tom is just that. But in the case of Blink, you have Mark who counteracts it, who kind of like it's kind of like the hot and cold of Blink. It's like you got the hot, fiery Tom with the exaggerated, stereotypical
and
pop
you have
punk lyric.
cold Mark,
Then you have Mark, who's kind of like, it's kind of
yeah,
like,
kind of almost monotone, kind of.
it's kind of funny to be honest. I never thought of it that way till we just started talking about it. Like I'm thinking of "You Don't Know What You Got." Like that's like the song I'm thinking about right now. It's like you don't know what you've got. Like you got Tom with the in your face, over exaggerated vocals, and you have Mark who counteracts it with like the very mellow monotone like vocals. But I feel like there's one song that might contradict my theory, which comes from Untitled Stockholm Syndrome, because there's a part where Mark is actually yelling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone with disappointment and I'm crippled from exhaustion. Like I think that would probably counteract my theory. I guess it
Mm-hmm.
kind of depends on which way you want to look at it. But just in general, I feel like Tom has those over exaggerated stereotypical pop punk vocals, while Mark counteracts it with the monotone, just Mark. Just Mark.
Just Mark.
So in a sense, I've kind of covered a lot about Tom, in addition to Mark, but we can touch base a little bit more on Tom's vocals because Tom is also in Boxcar Racer and Angels and Airwaves, which, by the way, we're doing our Angels and Airwaves pilgrimage as we speak. We're about to start the second album tomorrow
I
night.
Empire, yeah.
I Empire. I'm so ready. I love Secret Crowds. One of my favorite songs. By the way, first album was really good. The Adventure, spot on. Love that
Yes.
song. So with Tom, like I said, he has those over exaggerated vocals, but like I feel like as he aged, his vocals got better. Like when he was younger, like as you see with like Cheshire Cat or Buddha, if you're a real Blink fan like us, somewhat. If you listen to Buddha and or Cheshire Cat, you'll see that Tom's vocals are a little squeaky.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
talk to
like,
you every now and then.
but I think it's just because like he hasn't hit puberty yet. I think that's what it is, because it's like, because Buddha and Cheshire Cat's like, this is before he becomes like the very over exaggerated pop punk lyrics person, and then it's like when you get to like what, like Dude Ranch and Enema of the States, like very like over
I feel like
exaggerating a
with
little bit
Enema of the
more.
State, that was their peak. That's when they really started with the over exaggerated like pop punk stuff. It's like
The
trying to
no
think.
no 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 no
Na, na,
no
na, na,
no
na.
no no.
Always I know you'll be at my
At my
show.
show.
Like
Yeah.
that's like stereotypical Tom. Like that's when he started kind of doing it. I don't think I really noticed it much with Dude Ranch, but I could be wrong because out of all the albums we've done, that's the one I don't remember the most for some reason. That's the one we ended on too. It's a
And
shame.
and plus I think like another Mark led song was Josie, because Mark
Yeah,
was,
my girlfriend.
yeah, because well, and plus like in Josie too, like you can hear Tom going like, I know the everything, I know the everything, I know the everything, and it's like you can tell that it's like it's starting to become the exaggerated pop punk thing, and then when you get to Enema, it's like very full, like fledged, like exaggerated what it is
Overly
now.
exaggerated. Yep.
Yeah. It's like that little hint of it in Dude Ranch, but then once you get to Edema, it's full
Full
on.
blown. And then you get to self titled. It's really full blown with always like fucking
Yeah.
Mark on the fucking monotone vocals over there. Even in
Always.
neighborhoods, there's a little bit of it too, with
Yeah.
like After Midnight.
Mhm. Mhm.
Kind of like the little rush you get when you're standing close to death. Like I always think of that song every
I
time I hear
I
that album.
and also you can think about Up All Night too.
Keep me up all
It's like
night.
it's yeah, Up All Night, and it's just like it's just that little bit of that pop punk that's coming out of him. It's like it just like wants to burst out of his skin. It's just like, oh, just let me go, and it's just like, uh, but it's like a full circle back here. It's like both Mark and Tom's like they both share, equal ground. Let's say that it's equal ground. I
They
think.
play off of each other. Like I said, they contrast really well.
Yeah.
Um, Now, like I said, with One More Time, we kind of touched base on this already. Like with You Don't Know What You've Got, that's like the prime example for like still over exaggerated in 2024 now. Um, it's still an over exaggerated vocal moment. You don't know what you've
What you've
got.
got? Yeah, it's like, oh man.
Gotta love Tom. Um, let's touch base on Matt Skiba. So, a little bit of background information on this guy. He is from Alkaline Trio, which I haven't listened to any of their stuff.
They're really good. I
Have
highly
you
recommend
heard
them.
their stuff?
I have heard some of their stuff, yes.
Now, if you were to like compare them to another band, what do they sound like? Do they sound like Blink or do they sound like a different one to you?
I would say they probably sound different than Blink, because they kind of sound like more hard rock than punk rock. They kind of sound like more like, if you think about it, maybe in your own head, sound kind of like how Nickelback is. Like it's not really dad rock, but it's like it's more. Trying to think of like the best way to put it, uh, without burying Alkaline Trio. Um,
Damn.
it's like because Matt Skiba, like when he left, it's like it just didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel right to us, because because when he left Alkaline Trio, it's like somebody, I don't know who replaced him and when he left. Um, but it's like whoever had to fill his shoes, like they had to do like a fucking awesome job then. Because now
Yeah.
I think he's back with Alkaline Trio, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure he is.
Um, but yeah, like Alkaline Trio with Matt Skiba, it's like it's a perfect thing. Um, I'm gonna say actually, I think they are just hard rock. Like they're like really good. I don't know like one song from them, and that's
So it
like the
looks like
whole
he
thing.
actually stayed with Alkaline Trio, even though he was also in Blink. Because I'm not seeing anything about. Um, yeah, it literally just says here, even though he was working on albums with Blink, he assured that the album would keep moving forward with Alkaline Trio. I'll be writing for a new Alkaline Trio record while on the summer tour, so once things with Blink cool down a bit, the trio can go in and make a record and start touring again while Blink is on break. This was after California in 2016. So he was playing two roles. He was playing singer for Blink and he was singing for Alkaline Trio. That is dedication right there to your craft.
That is, yes, that is dedication right
That is
there.
fucking crazy. So I find with Matt Skiba, here's my take. I love California. That album is really good. And in a
Mhm.
way, it kind of gave Mark a chance to finally have the spotlight for a good chunk of the songs on the album. Though Matt actually took some time to shine as well on that album. And I myself have never heard Matt Skiba. I've never heard Alkaline Trio at all. So this was kind of a first for me. I really enjoyed California. I really enjoyed what is it, San Diego? Yeah, San Diego. That's like the one song I
San
can really think of.
Diego.
Like, yeah, it's not Tom, but it fits. You know what I mean? Like, it still fits for, the time period of Blake.
So I did look up Alkaline Trio. They are considered pop punk and punk rock,
Okay.
but it just didn't feel like it to me. I don't know why. It's probably just me, but I'm weird. Um, but the one song that comes to mind when Matt was on the California one, it was Bored to Death. Like I think Bored to Death is like kind of encapsulates like Matt being in the group because it's like he kind of had those Tom like mannerisms a little bit when he was doing this when he was singing a little bit. Um, which is not that's not a bad thing. It's just like I was just like I could just hear it.
Yeah.
Um, but like Matt like or Matt Mark like he did the major of the vocals like on both of those albums, which like that's dedication too, because like he stepped up and he
It's
stepped up
like,
big
in a
time.
way, we still kept part of Blink with us when we had those two albums, even though Tom was gone. Mark was still there, so he kind of kept the train going with the originality of Blink. But
Hmm.
I think the problem was with Nine, they went too experimental with it. They went too poppy. I think they kind of tried to listen to what the modern day music was turning into in
What
this
the kids
industry.
were, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of where they went wrong there. It took a downward turn. Because myself, I did not like Nine. I'm actually due to go back and give it another shot though, because I have been proven wrong. I have proven to myself that sometimes first time around is not always going to be your favorite. Sometimes you have to go back at least two times, maybe even three times, to see how you truly feel about an album. There's only one album where I still didn't like it after like the second or third listen through, and that was Balance with Van Halen. So, I mean, I've got a good record so far for albums being good after the second or third time around, minus that one Van Halen record. So maybe we should give Nine another shot very soon, like very very soon. Um, hint hint. Uh, so for now, I'm not really going to talk much about Nine just because of the fact I wasn't crazy for it. But I will say this: Happy Days, spot on.
Happy days.
That,
Yeah.
and if you want to talk about Maskiba, um, oh, what the fuck's that song called? Oh no,
Pin the grenade?
nope, that's
Or no?
Mark. Oh, No Heart to Speak of.
Mm.
Matt Skiba's vocals are strong on that one. They are fucking strong. My God, like I could feel the emotion in that song just by hearing his vocals. That one's strong. I would give props to Matt Skiba on that one. That is really, really good.
Right.
So maybe we should go back to that album. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll be more lenient about it. I've seen this, like I said in the past. We've liked an album after hearing it a couple times. Um, but yeah, overall, Blink fans, give Matt Skiba a break, please. He's good. Like, yeah, he's not Tom, but like you got to remember, Mark needed another singer for Blink. He needed another singer, and I think Matt did a good job. I really think he did.
Now, here's a question though:
Hmm.
if Matt Skiba was never involved with the Blink stuff, like who do you think would have been in that Tom role?
Ooh, that's a tough
Because
question.
because if I can think about it, like at the time, like I would say maybe Derek from Sum 41,
You know
maybe.
what's funny? I was just thinking about that.
Because
I
I
was
was
just gonna say Derek from fucking Sum 41.
because I was like he would really fit the Blink-182 style because it's punk rock. I mean, like come on, and why not have the ultimate punk rock dude that's still kicking to this day, living the punk rock lifestyle in Blink. And it's like I think he would fit superbly.
That would
He
be
would fit.
fucking crazy. Like, you know what's funny though? I was literally just gonna say, okay, if I could think of one person, it has to be fucking Derek from Sum 41. If we're talking logically, now if we're talking in terms of like a dream team, I'd say Ben Koala was easily from Billy Talent. Can you imagine him singing the hard parts of No Hearts to Speak of?
I could just see him like singing fucking Happy Days.
Nah, that's all Mark. Mark fits
Yeah,
that.
well of course
Like,
that's
can
all
can
Mark.
you really like imagine if Ben actually played on like California or something,
I could see that. I
or
mean
even
that would
Nine
be
for that matter?
I think he would be more California
Yeah,
cuz nine it's like murky waters there. It's like very murky. Um but I think like with that being said, it's like you can have like either or because it's because you have Travis, you have Mark, which that's 2/3 right there. So you have to have a powerhouse guitarist and other vocalists, or just vocalists or whatever. Um, Derek and Ben would fit either way. It would fit either way.
absolutely. Honest to God, this is kind of spurring more like debate hour ideas.
In a little sidebar here, it's like in 2016, this is when they Sum 41 was doing 13 Voices,
And you
and
know what's
so
funny?
and plus I think that album came out in October of 2016.
And you know what's funny? Billy Talent was also active in 2016 with the Afraid of Heights album,
Hmm.
the first album to be without Aaron on drums. They brought in Jordan Hastings.
From Alex is on Fire, right?
Alexis on Fire, yes, sir. Good group, by the way. That's interesting. 2016 was a very, very active year for pop punk. If you really think about it,
I I think we should do a like debate hour thing on this one. But I'm just gonna put a little pin in it because or well I guess a what if episode too.
or
Um,
a year in music. Oh,
there you go.
Butter,
It's like
butter.
we're idiots. Uh,
Yes.
but I'm gonna put a little pin in that because it's like that sounds like a good topic of discussion to like go further on
That sounds like a
because
good one, yeah.
it's like like we're going like way off the rails here. But I thought of that question like just right off the top because I was like I just wondered because it's just like it just I don't know how people would have reacted if Derek did show up for Blink and then he, exact same time frame. It's like, they drop California and then they drop 13 Voices with Sum 41.
I feel like the
So it's
fucking
like,
world would explode.
yeah, I mean, and plus, like, after that, what, like, fucking Nine came out, what, 2019?
Yeah,
Something like that.
2019.
So then then another Sum 41 album comes out in 2019, Ordered in Decline. So it's like he would still be with the group for 2016 to 2019, and then after that, it's like like Tom comes back with the milk,
Yes, and he stays.
and he stays.
All right, so the time has come since we've kind of discussed all three members, Mark, Tom, and Matt. The time has come to discuss which of these three singers do you prefer over the other two? Do you prefer more monotone, easygoing Mark Hoppus? Always. Or do you prefer kind of like a typical pop punk sounding Matt Skiba from the 2016 to 2019 era of Blink? Or do you prefer the original, irreplaceable Tom DeLonge with his over exaggerated fucking pop punk vocals in
Bless
your
that
face? Bless him. Bless that man.
man.
This is tough because it's like I love all three of them kind of equally.
But okay, so here's my logic on this. I'm gonna go first on this.
Yes, please do.
So I think it's like okay, the hypothetical is like yeah, Matt Skiba is like it's like he's really good at what he does. He's really good, and it's like there's gonna be no denying that. But it's like I rarely know like a lot of the Matt Skiba side of things because it's like yeah he's on there for 2 albums, but then we've been so invested with Mark and Tom on like majority of these albums, like from like Cheshire Cat Buddha whatever to Neighborhoods, and then when he left and then he came back for one more time, so it's like what that's like a lot of those albums together. So we've been majorly emotionally invested in Mark and Tom rather than Mark and
Matt.
Matt. So I mean, with that being said, it's like like I'm not trying to like cast a shadow on Matt. It's like he's freaking awesome, and I wish the best for him. But it's like I don't think he should be in that equation right now because like he has proved that he can keep up with Blink in the California 2016 album. Nine, that was like no, that's for another time. But I don't think we got had enough of like Matt to like see like what he really brings to the table with Blink.
Yeah.
So I mean, with that being said, like Matt's out of the equation here. So it's down to like the main two people. It's a tough one to call, to be honest with you.
And no, people, we're not being biased on their looks.
No, we're not being biased at all. We're just being biased on maybe like
We're focusing on their vocals.
vocal ability. I think with Mark, it's like he's very monotone, but then he can kind of like
He's had his moments.
yeah, he has had his moments. I will
Stockholm
give him that.
Syndrome. Go listen to Stockholm Syndrome, people. Like that's like a prime example. That and
I would say also what is it? Um it's from Self-Titled too.
think.
It's never the same again after you came and went.
Oh, feeling this.
Feeling this. It's like he's had his moments in that song too, because they both play off each other on that song.
I've got no regret right now.
And then it's like, feel this, and then it's just like it's like they both work together on that song. So, but then it's like you have Tom with his over exaggerated vocals and all that stuff. It's like being like very like, and he if you notice like he always scrunches his face when he does that too. Have you noticed that?
Wait.
He does that.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about feeling this, or are we just talking in general?
In general.
Oh my god, we need to go watch something.
Because like whenever because when he does like all the small things, like you don't notice it, but like when you like when they came back when they debuted um the 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 video with the fucking rabbits.
Edging.
Edging, yes. So you can notice like he's scrunching his face a little bit when he does that. I ain't that cool, little fuck in the head. And it's like you can notice it. I'm so shocked that I haven't noticed it.
I'm gonna go watch Blink after this because I need to pick me up.
But I think with that being said, um, I'm gonna go with my boy Mark here, cause like like he has had his moments. Like he can be vulnerable in songs. Like we've seen in an Adam song, he could be very vulnerable. And then like we said with Stockholm Syndromes, like that's a killer ass song by the way. Um, he's had his moments to shine, and it really shows. Because like from like like I said, from Buddha to Cheshire Cat, whatever have you, and then like with California, and you have Nine, and then you have One More Time and all that stuff. It's like he's had so much improvement over those albums to like show like he can really hang with the big guys, like the big boys. And plus, not a lot of bassists are backup are lead vocals. They're always backup vocals and stuff.
True.
So it's like I I've always I've always enjoyed Mark because like he's always got like he can be funny, but then he can be serious. Same with Tom,
Yeah.
but I mean more so probably Tom because he's more so funny. Uh, but I'm gonna go with my man Mark here. That's what I'm going
I'm
with.
I'm going with Tom as always. I've always loved Tom's vocals, and I'm not thinking about Angels and Airwaves on this. Although, like I said, his vocal work is really good with Angels and Airwaves. It's fucking amazing. Um, I'm thinking towards Blink. I've always loved Tom's vocals from start to finish. From the day he started with Blink, with Buddha and fucking Cheshire Cat. Like I always think of Carousel when I think of Tom. I think
Carousel.
Sell. Like even then, like he had a little bit of the exaggerated vocals, but not a whole lot. Um,
It's slowly progressing into what his final form is.
yes, pretty freaking much. I've always loved Tom's vocals on every album, even Neighborhoods when it sounded more like Angels and Airwaves. And even up to this very day on the newest album, his voice has matured all the way. Um, obviously he's aged. It's just like
Mhm.
I still love it. It's what makes Blink Blink. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, you don't often find a group that has two lead vocalists. Like I
Right.
said, the only other group I can think of is Styx, and they're good by the way. But
Mhm.
yeah, Tom is kind of what makes Blink Blink, in my opinion. He really has the pretty much the stereotype for a pop punk group when it comes to vocals. He has those exaggerated vocals. He has the in your face kind of like fuck you, like that kind of fucking vocal ability.
Mhm.
Like it's just that. It just makes Blink Blink. And I can kind of see why people are like Blink is not Blink without Tom. Like I can see it. I totally get it. I'm just more of a lenient person. I'm the one to kind of accept change over time with bands. Um, but yeah, I'm going with Tom. And not because of his looks either, even though he is mighty fine. And I think everybody on this show knows I really love Tom DeLonge.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
What,
Mhm.
sing a new song, won't you?
Dun,
But
dun.
if it makes you feel any better, you're the Mark to my Tom, so.
Oh man.
So, I'll leave the question with you guys, the audience who's watching, of course. Who do you prefer? Do you prefer Matt Skiba, Mark, or Tom? Let us know down in the comments or on social media, wherever you can find us. I would love to hear from you guys. So next episode, we are finally bringing Simple Plan into the random ranking picture. And I'm super excited because I really enjoyed the Simple Plan pilgrimage wholeheartedly. It's probably one of my favorite pilgrimages I've done in a long time. Um, so I have the 10 songs that are up for grabs if y'all are ready to hear about them. Are you ready to hear about them, Dystro?
Yes.
So, as per usual, when we do these episodes, I take every song that we enjoyed from the pilgrimage, put them onto a list in my notes app, copy and paste that list onto randomizer.org, and I click randomize. And whatever the first 10 songs are that pop up, we rank them on a top 10 list scale. So, in this order, this is how the songs came up on the list for this episode coming up. Astronaut, of fucking course. Can't have an episode without Astronaut, for fuck's sake. Jet Lag featuring Natasha Bedingfield. That's gonna be a good one. Untitled, also known as How Could This Happen to Me? A classic. Take My Hand. Welcome to My Life. I'm Just a Kid. Last One Standing. Kiss Me Like Nobody's Watching. Everything Sucks. And Your Love Is a Lie. Man, this is bad. Like, this is like not bad because like the songs are good, but this is bad because the songs are good.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be hard to rank these because I love every single song on this list. Like, I've listened to them so much on repeat over the last couple months. Oh, and my number one favorite song is on here too, so that's gonna be fucking complicated as hell.
And whereas me, it's like I base mine off of replay value and how I felt after it.
Yeah, like
Which,
a lot of these are still kind of fresh though in our memories. At least for me, anyways.
it's actually fun because I heard "Welcome to My Life" at work today,
I
so that
mean,
kind.
yeah.
I mean,
And as always, as I always say this when we do these episodes, if you need to go back and re-listen to any of the songs before we record, feel free to do so, because it helps you remember them better. It gives you a fresh little memory of how the song sounded. Kind of takes you back to how you felt when you heard the song for the first time. For me, I don't need to listen to any of these. I know every single one of these. Anyway, so that's gonna be this Thursday. You will not want to miss that. And we have a little bit of a twist on this episode coming this Thursday, so stay tuned for that. It's in the works right now.
okay, that makes
So,
me scared.
what do you mean it makes you scared? You know what the fucking twist is about.
I know.
Stupid. You stupid. All right, Mark Hoppus. All right, so I have tonight's song of the night for you guys. So, last night we just listened to a Rainbow album for the first time because I think one of their albums just turned 42.
Yes, it was.
Yes, I'm actually surprised I remembered that year. I had to think. It came out in 1982. So, Straight Between the Eyes is an album that came out back in 1982. This would be the second album featuring Joe Lynn Turner on vocals. We just listened to this album in full last night, and I absolutely loved it. It was good. For 9 tracks, that's a pretty strong album. Like, there's quite a few songs I have saved from that album, about 5 or 6 of them out of 9. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, why not pick a Rainbow song? And what's good is I want to do a Rainbow Pilgrimage sometime this year. We are going to do one. Luckily, we're one album ahead. Or for me, you're 2 albums ahead because I did the debut album last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Rock Fever. Rock Fever is probably going to be my standout song on this album. It's track number 8. Really, really kick-ass song, in your face, just classic Rainbow sounding. Absolutely loved it. So I'm gonna go with Rock Fever. I don't think there's a music video for this. I'll just put the audio if you guys want to take a listen. The audio will be at the top right hand corner of the episode at the very end. Go ahead and click on it. Take a listen. I love Rainbow, and I really wish more people talked about them. At least nobody really in my friend group talks about them besides you and me. So if you stuck around to the very end, really appreciate your support. Be sure to go on ahead and follow us on social media by clicking on that link in the description below, which will take you to Linktree. We have Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter. Go on ahead and follow us there to keep up to date with the show in case something goes wrong, can't upload, or any other mishaps. You never know nowadays. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Dystro's gaming YouTube channel is there, and he has a special announcement to make about his channel.
Yes. So the subscriber goal was to hit 1,300 by the end of this month. I hit 1300, but I'm at 1310 right now.
Let's fucking
And
go!
within first 6 days of the month, I hit 1300.
That is
Like,
such a big fucking win, dude. Like, I'm so happy for you right now.
and so you know what's funny? That that fucking clip that I showed you with Brett suplexing Angle onto the guardrail on his neck from 2K that I showed you on Messenger. That I put that on my channel. That's got over 10,000 views right now.
Wow.
I think it hit either 5 or 6,000 within, I think, 18 hours of it being uploaded or something, or 11 hours or something like that. But then it progressively got more and more and more and more, and then like within, I think yesterday it got to 10,000.
Damn. Bros hate taking the fucking W's this year. God damn.
We taking nothing but W's, baby.
So now we don't really have a goal. 1400 by beginning of June.
I bet you will crush that by the end of this month. I bet you.
Let's set it for the beginning of June. I'll be nice. I'll set it for beginning of June. Let's get you to 1400, shall we? So go subscribe to Dystro, please. He plays gaming stuff all week, every day almost. I'm in there too sometimes, and our good friend Ken's, because we play GTA a lot. That's like our go-to game when we get bored. GTA?
GTA?
So go subscribe to him, please. Share stuff around. Once again, take a listen to tonight's song of the night, Rock Fever by Rainbow. And that's it. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you guys this Thursday. Peace!
Peace!